as streaming consumption skyrockets and audience expectations rise, the infrastructure powering video delivery has never been more critical or more complex. Today, we are diving into a significant development at the intersection of cloud innovation and media delivery. Harmonic, a recognized leader in video streaming technology, has announced that two of its cutting edge solutions are now qualified on the Akamai Cloud platform. To unpack what this collaboration means for the future of streaming, I'm joined by Ari Weil, Vice President of Product Marketing at Akamai, and Jean Macher, Senior Director of Global SaaS Solutions at Harmonic. We will explore how this partnership is redefining performance, unlocking new monetization opportunities, and shaping the evolution of cloud-based media services. Ari, Jean, welcome to the brand new episode of Cloud Evolution.
Thanks for having us.
Good to be here.
Jean, can you please start with the news? And actually, before we start the news, let's just, in the context of news, that Harmonic, you folks recently announced that two of your video streaming solutions are now qualified on Akamai Cloud. Before we talk about and go deeper into the announcement, just give us some context on Harmonic's role in the industry and what does this collaboration mean for the whole ecosystem.
Harmonic is a video technology company. We offer what we call a complete video pipeline for streaming and broadcast workflows. So things like playout, transcoding, packaging, all the way to ad insertion and delivery. We specialize in large-scale streaming events with best, reliability and best quality. So events like the Olympics, the World Cup, the Super Bowl, we've done all of that several times. So that video pipeline, that technology is offered as a service. And more specifically, we have two video SaaS solutions, so VOS 360 Media and VOS 360 Ad. Those two SaaS are now available on Akamai Connected Cloud. We had been using the Akamai CDN for years very successfully. So when Akamai launched their cloud offering with great performance and I would say much needed cost efficiency among the hyperscalers, it was a natural fit for our cloud native technology.
Who is your target audience or target customer? Is it like the TV channels? Because a lot of folks, they might relate it to YouTube, like, that's what much you are. So I just want to understand the industry as well.
Our target customers are the media and entertainment companies that produce, professional content, professional events, professional video channels.
So you are more or less like the engine behind when we see all these events. The banner may say, I don't want to name any media companies, but banner may something, but their video, the whole packaging is powered by Harmonic. Is that correct?
Powered under the scene by our video pipeline. Exactly.
Excellent. Thank you. Now, Ari, if you look at Akamai, you have Akamai Media Services Live 5, which is powered by Harmonic, as he mentioned, VOS 360 Media SaaS. Talk about this offering and once again, what value it brings to the media companies and to the users as well.
Yeah, Akamai is very excited to be working with Harmonic on Media Services Live 5 because we believe it's going to accelerate media companies' ability to optimize the viewing experience for their customers, but it'll also allow them to maximize their advertising revenue and grow their businesses. We selected Harmonic as our technology partner provider because we felt that they were best able to deliver on these capabilities based on the great and strong track record that they've had delivering live streaming media events over time. And we believe that with VOS 360 Media and Ad, customers will benefit from support from a wider variety of video formats. They'll also have more monetization options and they'll be able to improve their user experience with better control over their streams so that they can account for the way that viewers are consuming a stream and then tailor the experience to them.
Excellent. I will go deeper into some of these points, but whenever such collaboration happens, or when you look at, bringing new feature, new technologies, either you're solving an existing problem or you're going to enhance the user experience. So here, when you're talking about either performance or revenue generation, is it about there were some challenges that you needed to address, or it's more of an evolution to make the services, make monetization even better?
So it's a little bit of both, I would say. I mean, the first thing is we've accelerated the time that it takes to provision new streams. So it used to take several hours to get a new stream live and running on the platform. We've brought that down from hours to seconds, in some cases being able to get new streams provisioned within 5 seconds and ready for a global audience. We've also extended the live DVR window so that for events like live sports or news, viewers can catch up for up to 12 hours of video content, which is a pretty robust amount of DVR capability that we've enabled on the platform. And then we've also doubled the max archive duration so that more content is available for quick, efficient viewing. And that means that we can keep more of the stream content resident on Akamai's platform so that we're not going back to origins, we're not slowing down or incurring additional costs by pulling from origins that might either be in a remote destination or on a hyperscaler platform that would incur egress fees as we bring those streams onto Akamai's platform. And so we feel that that both is going to improve the experience for our existing media service customers, but it should be able to extend that benefit to their users in a way that feels new and feels like they've added significant additional capabilities to their streams.
Now, when it comes to streaming, as a consumer myself, sometimes we come across two major issues. One is the delay. I remember that even if you're watching a live event on one TV, everything is there. On if you're on a smartphone, suddenly you are 2 or 3 seconds behind. Second is the quality. We saw sometimes the scenes are dark. I mean, I'm a media person. Artifacts are created, and then you don't really enjoy even if your TV is 4K or 8K, and you are paying for 1 gigabit of bandwidth. So, can you also talk about with VO 360? How are you? And also, as some of the sports events are regional, but you also mentioned global. So events happen in Australia, but people are watching in the US, Europe, Asia. So how do you ensure this global latency as well as quality compromise?
Sure, I'm happy to start, and then maybe Jean can extend. But part of the enhancements that we've made include support for low latency HTTP live streaming or LLHLS. When we deliver a live stream over the internet, it's important to break it up into smaller segments so that it can adapt to various network conditions and devices. This can be anything from inconsistent network speeds to saturation on a given network or even a Wi-Fi channel, or it could be down to dynamics on the device. What chopping things up into smaller segments allows media providers to do is to adapt the latency of a stream based on factors like the network connectivity, the round trip time to a given location, but also to take into account the target viewer's device characteristics, things like CPU or memory capacity, so that they can always strike the right balance between low latency streams, so it's happening very close to the live action, but also a streaming seamless streaming experience so that you're not having rebuffering or errors during the stream. This will also, going forward, not only improve the user's experience watching something and be able to watch a stream ideally closer to the live event, but it can open up new revenue opportunities for some of our media partners, because you can imagine a highly optimized low latency experience for certain velvet rope programs. You might have premier users, you might create a new tier for a given event, or maybe open up new monetization opportunities by having very, very low latency streams for a small segment of your users that you could charge a premium for and maybe enable other value added services on. And then the regular safer buffer period so that you could have maybe a 3, 4, 5 second delay for your average users so that everybody who might come in from a mobile device or from a smart television would always experience that streamless viewing. But if you wanted somebody to log in for a top tier, they might get a bite of the action a little bit sooner, and that can enable you to do other things with your customers to monetize them.
Jean, can you just talk about how do you ensure the latency issues or the quality issues that we talked about?
Yes. So when I mentioned that we specialize in, large scale streaming events with the best quality and reliability, but the quality includes the latency. That's really an important user experience factor. And so we've been supporting low latency HLS from the get-go. This is something that, by the way, is not trivial, especially when you combine the low latency streaming together with the ad insertion that we do server side. The combination of the two, with scaling up and down with your audience when you do, ad insertion is hard to do, but we've been doing that very efficiently at Harmonic from the beginning. The other thing I would say is that the low latency streaming, if you'd like, is like the application layer on top of the cloud infrastructure. And when it comes to the Akamai Connected Cloud, it helps that the networking performance in terms of latency is pretty amazing. So, you can take one site on one end of the world, another site on the other end of the world. The latency there from a pure networking standpoint is very, very low. So that helps when you run on top of that at the application layer, a low latency streaming application.
I want to talk about revenue generation, beyond performance gains, and as you rightly mentioned here, and initially you mentioned, then you look at other providers, cost was also a big factor. It has to be cost efficient. Now let's talk about the revenue opportunities. How does this partnership enable new revenue opportunities? Ari, you did touch upon that in your answer earlier, but let's just focus on how does this create new revenue opportunities for content creators and also service providers.
When we think about new revenue opportunities for creators, for us, it comes down to choice. The choice of your streaming provider, the choice of your delivery network, the choice of how you might choose to do transcoding, packaging, or optimization. Our focus has really been on ensuring that you have a low cost and low latency platform with a number of different providers that you can select based on the experience that you're looking to create, but also the end users you're looking to serve. When we look to Harmonic, we think that this is going to be able to help us target both the top tier media providers that are streaming large global streaming media events, the advertising providers that are looking to monetize where they have very low margins on the experiences they deliver, on the content that they're using to monetize their strategies. But ultimately, as we look towards new engagement models and new form factors in which people are going to be engaged, we think we can add additional compute resources on the same network that we're delivering the streams. So you have equivalent low latency and instantaneous performance for things like watch parties, interactive media, or potentially an additional basically push and pull use cases with your customers where you might want to get users to engage a lot more than just watching a stream, but then fully interacting and looking to procure maybe additional services or additional goods via that stream. And the choice of somebody like Harmonic with the capabilities that they provide, both over the way that a stream is delivered to a user, but also how we can segment that stream and add additional capabilities within the stream itself, will offer those opportunities for users to ultimately custom tailor their experiences the way that they think that they can maximize the customer satisfaction for their market, but also create new market opportunities with services that they might not have been able to deliver before. Like, for example, low latency HLS on the Akamai platform, which we've now added with the Harmonic on MSL5.
So I'll take maybe two examples where that can help, with new revenue opportunities. First, one of the differentiators of the Akamai Cloud is the footprint and the distributed aspect of their cloud infrastructure, at the edge. So two examples where that helps. If you think of a content owner, a content provider, the way they make revenue is by distributing to a wide array of affiliates that will, carry their content, carry their programming. So this is what we call primary distribution. And there is a trend where the satellite and the fiber that traditionally were used for this are replaced by the cloud. So being able with Akamai Connected Cloud to grab those feeds as close as possible to the source, right? And then deliver them as close as possible to the destination. In other words, you limit the amount that is riding on the unmanaged public internet. That helps a lot, with the quality of those primary distribution workflows. And so that helps our customer deliver their content to the widest possible, affiliates, number of affiliates. So that's one example. Another example touching on what we were discussing for ad insertion. It's very important because you have that one-on-one connection with every single viewer. So you need to scale up and down with the number of viewers connected to the service at any time. It helps to have that distributed aspect and being able to deploy, our VOS 360 ad closer to the edge. That helps with the scalability of the service, which, in the end helps with the performance of the monetization.
Ari, I want to talk to you about, if you look at Akamai, you folks have a very strong reputation in the cloud computing and security, obviously. How does this integration of Harmonic's, VOS 360 solution advance your broader strategy for media and entertainment service? And you can also talk about your presence globally with the Linode acquisition as well. Your footprint across the world is also helping with this cause.
First and foremost, Akamai has spent the last 27 years building out the world's most distributed cloud computing platform. And we believe that with the way that architectures are evolving to make media delivery services a lot more compute and memory intensive, that we are going to be able to leverage the power and the distribution of that infrastructure in order to bring better streaming experiences to users wherever they are. Now, not only do we think that we can help from a low latency delivery perspective and that consistency and the throughput that Akamai's network enables, but the ability to provide additional edge services on top of streaming is what we really think is going to make us an attractive value proposition to both streaming media companies and advertisers as we look to the future. Because we can have a continuum of compute resources like we're doing to support our qualified compute partners, the likes of which Harmonic is, to enable scalability of their infrastructure on top of Akamai. But then by integrating it into the Akamai cloud, we can deliver those experiences closer to where the users come online. So what that means is we can push compute and transcoding use cases for media streaming use cases closer to the user, not just closer to the point of origin, like might be the case with the hyperscalers. We can also eliminate a lot of the costs that come with the content of origin going to and from wherever that origin exists, whether it's an on-prem destination or in the cloud, and minimize the number of round trips as well as the latency and the errors that might occur. But then as we look to the ways that threat actors are looking to compromise streams, to steal and pirate content on other platforms, or otherwise to have bots compromise the scalability or the monetization of an event, we also appreciate the fact that we can apply our security products at the edge so that we can identify bots, we can identify malicious activity, we can even identify pirated streams that are running on other networks, and we can take action either to thwart and frustrate them before they get access to the stream and compromise the efficacy or the quality of something that one of our customers are delivering, or we can identify where somebody has pirated the media and might be either negatively impacting the brand that's delivering the origin stream because they're delivering it at a lower quality, or maybe they're doing something that runs counter to what the advertising networks have agreed to do with the media partner, or simply because they're otherwise distributing lower quality streams that might tarnish the reputation of the company delivering that stream, because people's perception will be that they won't be delivering that same high quality stream that they're used to. And because of how easy it is for some threat actors to actually spin up compute infrastructure and run a pirated stream, it's become easier than ever for people to compromise what is a first-party media stream. But we're bringing technology and the visibility that we get with that global infrastructure to identify those pirated streams quickly and to take action very, very quickly so that we can make sure that only the pristine, highest quality and monetizable streaming media is making it out to customers that ultimately we believe will support our customers' brand equity and ultimately the trust that people place in them.
This is really important for user experience because all of us experience. You just want to show an on internet, it's available. You go there, and as you rightly mentioned, it ruins, and nobody thinks that it may be a peddler or pirate. You just associate with the brand, and it's, hey, this content is not good. Now, this is the hottest topic these days, which is AI, Gen AI. What role is AI, Gen AI playing in Live 5 or VOS 360?
I can start. So for us, so you have different type of AI, like you mentioned. We've been using machine learning for a long time to optimize our media processing capabilities. So you use it for video compression, and we've been doing that for years and years. And it helps a lot with streaming in particular, because you deliver what is called adaptive streaming. And you bring, using AI, and models that mimic the human eye, you bring a variable bitrate component to what otherwise would be constant bitrate delivery of video feeds. Constant bitrate is not efficient. It's a little technical, but so when you can use AI and those machine learning models to bring a variable component to the delivery, that helps tremendously with the size of the storage and your delivery altogether. You can bring better quality for your users. So we've been doing that for years. And then the generative AI is very exciting because now you can bring new content to enhance the user experience. In fact, ultimately, you want to increase the user engagement. So new content like, I don't know, additional languages, okay, but also highlights. We work in live sports a lot, so we are using AI to come up with highlights related to live sports in real time so that people can quickly catch up with the start of a game, for instance, and then watch the rest, on at the live edge. So when you do this, when you create those additional languages, caption, highlights, you increase the engagement, which ultimately helps with the monetization. And you see the trend today with ad-supported, subscription tiers. And in sport in particular, the monetization is very, very important. So you need as big an engagement of your users as possible. The goal is to avoid that the new or younger generation, instead of watching long portion of the live streaming of a game, they go and snack on social media. So generative AI helps with the user engagement, ultimately helps with the monetization of those, high value content.
Now, if we just zoom out and look at this announcement, what does collaboration mean, or what does it kind of signals for the future of content delivery? Because we all agree in this age of AI-generated content, more authentic content, video is becoming kind of go-to source for everybody. Talk a bit about this partnership, the future of content delivery, and how it might also affect or influence how industry approaches to cloud native video streaming and advertising in the coming years.
I'll let Ari finish. So I'll stay a little higher level, not too technical on this one, because there is some aspect of the collaboration that for me are very exciting. Both companies, when you think of the technology they bring, are best in class. So you look at Akamai with their CDN and cloud technology, that technology and expertise, best in class. You look at Harmonic with the video technology and expertise, best in class. So when you combine it together, for me, this is very exciting, obviously for us, but also for our customers. But then there's another aspect that you realize when you start looking into the two companies is that we both are very knowledgeable and intimate with our customers. So we know the media and entertainment customers very well. So when you combine that best-in-class technology and that intimacy with our customer workflows, for me, it's a collaboration that is really, I don't want to say a perfect fit, but it makes a lot of sense to bring those two together. So very exciting about that collaboration, as you can tell.
Ari, let's hear from you.
Yeah, and Akamai's belief is that, as media streaming evolves and as content consumption becomes a lot more seamless across devices and across different connected infrastructure, that our customers are going to expect a partner that is going to be able to provide them with a resource where they can build, secure, and scale their streams and their advertising components. And because there's so much compute that is inherent in how do we combine content, with a message, with an offer, and insert it as an ad in real time? How do we put that into a stream at exactly the right time? How do we consider, the right way to divide a stream up into its component pieces and to deliver that to customers that have varying device capabilities, varying network speeds, varying network connectivity, that we're going to need the ability to take content and hold it on the distributed network in a way that isn't going to be constantly taxing the media provider with maintaining that content, with accessing that content. The ability to then manipulate that content into packaged streams, packaged videos, to the point of Jean's prior answer, as we see people applying Gen AI, they're also automatically creating clips and social streams and outtakes and short form videos. And we want to enable all of that to happen in real time and seamlessly on that same platform so that the operations are simpler, so that customers can get familiar with a cloud platform. And from our perspective, really leaning on open source and a variety of partners, they can choose the best option for their skill set, for the way that they monetize, for the type of content that they're looking to package into a stream, and then ultimately including the intelligent security capabilities that don't require you to build out all of the policies and to be a security expert on top of being a media delivery expert. But we want to find and surface intelligence for you about the way that users are consuming streams and getting experiences so that we can streamline some of that activity, caching what we can, providing shorter or easier approvals to get access to content when it's warranted. But then when we see bots, either nefarious bots or bots that are looking potentially to scrape content maybe for a generative engine, that we can identify the type of bot it is, that we can apply the right sort of control. It could be a paywall. It could be something where we serve alternate content. It could be something where we block or limit the bot altogether. But we want to have those capabilities available seamlessly for our customers as part of one platform. And we believe that with our origins in content delivery and the fact that we've always enabled our customers to onboard and offboard however they see fit based on their definitions of quality, of security, and of scale, that we make it a destination that developers want to build their next streaming media experiences on, but that enterprises really appreciate the performance and cost dynamics from. And that unlike the hyperscalers, we're also providing them with additional choice and not locking them into one set of services and one set of providers, but really providing them with that choice and the network to distribute and scale whatever partners they choose to use on globally, so that whether it's a small regional event or a long-running global event, they can always expect the same level of quality, experience, and reliability on Akamai.
Ari, Jean, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing these insights. I look forward to speaking with you again as this partnership continues to evolve. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.